Good day C3 parents, I'm your host Karien Pitout and welcome to another edition Parenting During Lockdown when cabin fever sets in. Today, as promised, I am going to show you some deep pressure techniques, some almost therapy techniques to help your child vestibular system just to reset, especially during lockdown, as they don't get as much movement as they would normally get on a park. And these therapy methodologies is actually usually done by therapists themselves, and I've got a child on Good day C3 parents, I'm your host Karien Pitout and welcome to another edition of Parenting During Lockdown. As promised, I am going to show you some techniques of doing some deep pressure or some things that you can do with your child when you do massages, and techniques to help you help stimulate your child's vestibular system and also help them reset. Now, these deep pressure techniques usually helps to calm down the neural pathways or the nervous system, especially under high stress situations. Children that are on the ASD spectrum will actually, their parents will use these techniques, or and just because your child is neurotypical doesn't mean that your child can't benefit from these techniques to help them deal with the new circumstances that we're under. We're under extremely high stressful situation, being in lockdown, not being able to socialize outside of the home, can bring along its own different stressors. And this technique, I've got both a child on with a child with SPD and a child that's neurotypical, and these techniques work with both children to help them calm down, relax, and actually deal with the world as is. We have found that sometimes if we don't do this, they even have a tougher time to fall asleep. So these techniques also help our kids to fall asleep, for their body to actually be able to interpret the signals that it's receiving properly, like, oh, I'm tired, actually I need to sleep. Some of these techniques, please make sure that you do it safely with your children, preferably either on a bed. If you have to work on the floor, there's some of the things that you won't be able to do on the floor, because a floor is a very hard surface and the feedback that gives to the body can actually hurt them. So on a mattress, on a bed, on a soft surface. Careful for couches for some of these techniques, because a couch might not give the right amount of resistance, the same that a mattress would give, but also a couch has got a very limited space to work on. So for the hand and the foot massage, that the couch works perfectly, but for the some of the other techniques that what I'm going to demonstrate, that won't be such a good surface to work on. So meet Mr. Monkey Man. Mr. Monkey Man is going to be my model. And I know I don't have proper feet and I don't have proper hands, but I will put up some pictures of the feet and hands when I talk about specific areas, so that you know exactly where you need to put your fingers. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is, you can either use a towel or a blanket for this exercise, and we call it the hot dog. Now, the hot dog, we usually joke with the kids that we're going to eat them once we've done the hot dog. You set your towel or your blanket up properly, and you ask them to lie down. The important part of them lying down is that when you're done rolling them up, you want them on their stomach. Alright, so it just sometimes helps with the control of the blanket if the side that stays left over after you've rolled them up is over their stomach, so that they can lie down properly on that lining, so that they keep the blanket or the towel in place for you, and makes it just a little bit easier. Alright, so the first thing that you need to check is that you have support for the neck when you're rolling a child. Doesn't matter how old they are, or well, especially the younger they are. Right, and that their arms are by their sides, not crossed over. The moment it's crossed over, you can actually cause harm to the arm bones. So arms next to their body. The next step that you're going to look at, the next step that you're going to look at is you're going to roll them. So you're going to cover them and as tight as possible. That's why we want the arms, we're going So part of the fun for them is being rolled up like a little hot dog, and we're going to, obviously you're not going to pick your child up this way, I'm doing it with a doll. Alright, you're going to roll your child up properly, nice and tightly, as tight as possible, but they still need to be able to breathe. Don't constrict their breathing, don't like let them turn blue in the face, and make sure that they're capable of breathing so that the towel or the blanket doesn't cover their mouth. I'm going to put them on their tummy, and then you're going to first do some deep pressure. So I am sitting down at the moment to be able to demonstrate it properly. What you're going to do is you're going to get up. So hopefully if I disappear from the camera, sorry about that. You're going to press down with your upper body weight on it, and you just gently want to press down on the spinal cord system, even over the buttocks area and on the thighs, and as far as you can go down. Be careful when you get to the feet or to the ankle part, that you don't hurt the feet with the pressure, hurting their feet in that whole thing. That's why it's also preferably to do this on a mattress or a soft surface, a surface that gives them at least some feedback from the bottom that you can press down, but that they don't get hurt, unlike with the floor. So you're going to do the pressure down. All right, that's the first step, and you're going to do it about 2 or 3 times, that you press down all the way down and then back up again. You're going to do that about 3 times, and then you can, just to get them a little bit of giggles for them, to help more of the stress release, to let that tension come out in the form of sound. Laughter also releases oxytocin, which is a nice hormone that is our happy hormone, our bonding hormone, and it actually releases stress. So we're going to do the nom noms, or the I'm eating you now. So you're going to, hands like this, just gently, not hard. The idea is not to pinch. The idea is just to get their body to have a little bit of almost like tap kind of impact, but you want that open and closing of the hand, the sliding. All right, so you're going to do the jump. All right, and you're going to do that 3 times. Then you can release them from this cocoon. So what you can do is, if you're strong enough, you can take the towel and you can yank it, all right, and I'll demonstrate it, and hopefully Mr. Monkey doesn't go flying. And the other one is you can just roll them out, all right. So, but if you do the yank, you take all your arm strings and you pull it, and hopefully they don't go flying like Mr. Monkey, but they roll out, and it's another like quick movement, and it actually really helps them giggle and helps them release more stress, and they actually usually enjoy it. Just be careful that if you're very strong and you yank it, that you don't yank it too hard and then give them whiplash or hurt their necks. So just gauge on obviously how old they are and so forth, that you don't cause other problems and brain damage. So please be careful in how you yank it out. All right, then the other one, what we call the kids, my kids absolutely love this. They're so tall and big now, I'm not strong enough to do this with them anymore. So when Dad is home and he's available to do it, he does it with them. So every now and again, if his back can hold it, you're going to need quite strong back muscles and arm muscles for this one. Right, so once again, but this time please, a towel is too short, it's not wide enough for this exercise. So go, unless it's bath sheet towels, get a nice blanket that you can do this with. It shouldn't be too big or too wide, because it can become problematic. But once again, kiddo lies down, arms next to their side. Make sure, this time really make sure that the top of the towel where the head is actually does support the neck. We don't want floppy necks like this. We want their necks to be supported up to the back of their skull, about up to there, just to support their skull and their body, because we're going to swing them now. So we roll them up, and then obviously the legs part needs to come about until the crook of the knee, where you can get support. So what we're going to do now is we're going to roll up our kid again, roll them up nice and tight, and this you really need to make sure it's tight, because you don't want a kid flying out of the blanket. And you're going to roll them nice and tight, and then I'm so glad I'm working with a doll, because it would have been quite a hefty exercise. Then make sure that the bit that the top part of the towel or the blanket is at the top, so that you can hold that with the rest of the towel. So your hand slips in all the way to where their body is, and you hold it tight, like with all your might, because you don't want a kid flying. And then this way you hold tight, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pick them up from the ground and swing them from side to side, and for as long as your arms can handle it, okay, or for as long as they enjoy it, and you will hear the giggles and the laughs. All right, when you're done, you can do the roll out again. Just a little warning here, kids love this, and once you've done it once, they're going to want to do it more, because of how it makes their body feels, as well as they enjoy swinging. And this is almost like a simulation of swinging. Right, so that is our blanket deep pressure techniques. Then another technique that we're looking at, and I just want to make this disappear, all right, is using a pillow. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to do a massage with the pillow. So our kiddo is in this position, and we're going to put the pillow on them. Make sure it is not on their skull, but it actually is at the shoulder. And what you're going to do is you're going to put pressure with hands like this, and then all the way back again. But what you need to look at is, let me just do it like, some kids like deep pressure, some kids don't. Just make sure that your whole body, that you regulate the pressure with your body and not necessarily with your arms, all right? Because your body weight is a nice way of handling it, and it actually helps a bit with our own personal core development. All right, with the previous one we did, when they were in the sausage, you did pressure like that with your hands together. This one, you're going to put your hands like this, so that it runs next to the spine of the child. You're not pressing on your child's spine, you're pressing next to your child's spine. Careful over the rib cage, obviously, and then you just do deep pressure, go to the buttocks area, all the way down the legs. If you can, be careful how you put pressure, once again at the ankles and the legs, because it can hurt them if you do it too hard close to the ankles, and the feet kind of press funny, and it can hurt them. So you're going to do that. You can do that 3 or 4 times depending on how much they can tolerate. It really is very helpful for them. Right, the next one we're going to do is we're going to look at no blanket or no towel, no blanket, no pillow. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go and walk on our kid, not with our feet, but with our hands. So you start at the ankle area on the calves, and you're going to walk with your hands open like this. Careful for sharp fingers. Open like this, and you're going to walk on your child all the way to the shoulder area, and then back down again. Careful that you press flat with your hand, not with your fingertips down like that. It's like this, flat. Otherwise you are going to hurt them, and you can actually bruise them if you do it too hard. Okay, so you're going to do that 3 times. And then for the arms and the hands, their arms lie down, if like palms facing up, and then you start close to the palm, and then you walk up to the shoulders and back. For the neck and head area, you can start at the neck area. Once again, open hand, press a little bit. You can use the heel of your hand on the neck, and for the lower base of the skull over here, you can press, and then a little bit of pressure on the skull, and then walk it up all the way to the top of their head. Obviously their heads aren't as squishy as Mr. Monkey here. All right, and then instead of walking it back, what you're going to do is you're going to use your fingertips, and here at the front of the face, like where the face starts, walk it all the way back to the shoulders, and you're going to do that 3 times. All right, so that is those kind of massages. Then for the hands and feet, right, so For the feet, there is a picture up here that has a picture of feet. We'll show you exactly where to start, but you're going to start and you're going to press with both your thumbs down, slide it upward over the ball of the foot to the toes, and then spread out on the toes. So you're going to slide over and spread up and spread the toes. Careful when you're spreading the toes that you don't hurt them, don't yank the toes. It's just a slight pressure just to move the toes just a little bit. All right, and then for the outside ridge of the foot, you can walk like a caterpillar up, and then all the way over the heart, the ball of the foot, and then just under the ball once again, just press up and under. You do that 3 times, and just a nice big squish of the foot. Same with the other foot. With the hands, once again, there, slide up into the finger, but you're going to use both your hands, so the other one's going to slide up into the other fingers, and you're going to pull the fingers gently. And then also here on this ridge, you can walk, do the caterpillar walk, or do it up like that, and then slide your finger open. So caterpillar walk and slide your finger open. This really does help center them. And then obviously the finger massage, pull it a little bit just to get that release. It really creates a bit of release. And obviously do both hands. And so it helps our kids release. So what is the purpose of these deep massages? So these deep massages or massage techniques really helps the body to understand or get the right messages, as I said earlier. So they get the right messages from their body, and it actually releases tension. We have a lot of giggles. Sometimes we end up tickling a bit. It really depends on how you work with your child, how much they will enjoy this. Some kids are averse to this kind of deep pressure. So if your child is not happy with this kind of deep pressure, no worries, there's other ways you can wrestle with your kid or do other things with your kid to help them release. But these deep pressure massages, we as a family usually do before bedtime, especially if the kids have been bouncing off the walls, and it really helps them calm down and for their body to, or their brain to register, oh my, so it's dark, it's time to go to bed, it is actually time to be tired and sleepy, and it helps calm them, their whole nervous system, and it helps calm them down as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments that you feel on your heart to make, please comment down below. We appreciate all feedback. Hit that like button. Please hit subscribe and follow our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications of upcoming, or not upcoming, new released videos. If you look here on this side, I've linked a video or two about the COVID-19 lockdown situation, or parenting during lockdown. Please have an amazing day, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you on the next installment. Have a great day.